the third and final factor that could take away from zehirut, from being careful about the mitzvot. And this is a very powerful one. It is mafsida shlishi hu chevra. He says you're bad company, God forbid. If you have bad friends, that could take away your yirat shamayim. He says that is chevrat tipshim hatim. He says the guy has company of fools and sinners, and he's exposing himself to their bad influence, and therefore they could bring him down. So therefore, you got to make sure to stay away from the bad friends. The Rambam writes in Chod Deot Perek Shishi, 6th chapter. He writes that the nature of man is drawn after his friends and his acquaintances, and he naturally behaves like the people where he's located, and therefore a person has to befriend the righteous and sit amongst the chachamim, the sages, so he should learn from them. He must distance himself from the wicked, so to not to learn from their deeds. And therefore the Rambam tells us that you are who your friends are. When we were in school, right, or when we have our kids in school, very into who's your friend, what does he do, what did he teach you in school, this is good, this is bad, I don't like this. So a person has to know this applies even today to ourselves. We are who we associate ourselves with. So therefore he says many times, you have social pressure, social peer pressure, that what, even for being able to do mitzvot or not being able to do mitzvot, you have people who, even though they believe that you have to do avodat Hashem, they believe that you have to do mitzvot, itrapeh mimena, he'll become lax about it. Or ya'avor ezed dvarim mimena, he'll transgress some of the sins of the Torah. Why? Because he didn't want kedei shelo yalgu alav havera, because he doesn't want his friends to make fun of him. Or kedei l'tarev mahem, or so he can mingle with them. So the guy, they're drinking something asur, they're going somewhere asur, they're doing something asur. You say, no, my friends are going to make fun of me. They say, oh, yeah, all of a sudden you can't do with us, you can't come with us, oh, come and davai. And what happens? He can't hold himself. He gives in to that pressure. And really, if he was by himself, he would never do these things. But because of his friends, you know, sometimes guys have become more religious, and they still have those friends from when they weren't religious. And then when you have this issue to come up, that it's hard for them to say no to these guys, because either they make fun of him, or they are, you know, they have, he doesn't want to lose their friendship. So all these things, a person has to make sure to not put himself in that test, because Shlomo HaMelech says, Im shonim, with dissenters, do not mingle. Dissenters means people who distort the Torah's rules and say, oh, it doesn't apply, it's okay, it's mutar, don't worry about all these things. You should avoid being friends. You could talk to them. They're not people that you have to put down and fight with. You have to be friends with them. You don't have to spend time with them. You don't have to socialize with them. So he says, you'll tell me, you'll tell me, but the sages tell us a person's mind should always be integrated with society. A person should always socialize with those around them, regardless who they are. So he says, Mesilat Yesharim, when was this said? This is about people who act like people. But not for people who act like animals. So therefore he says, a person has to go and associate himself with the right people. He says that what? Shlomo HaMelech writes, go away from a man who's a fool. And says, first pasuk in Tehillim. What's the first pasuk in Tehillim? David says, Ashrei ha'ish, asher lo halach v'yatzat reshaim. Blessed is the man, praiseworthy the man who did not walk in the advice of the wicked, and did not sit in the sitting of scoffers. So you see, the first thing King David writes about is not sitting with bad friends, not sitting with people who do not lead the same service of Hashem life that you do. So therefore, what should a person do? He should hold himself back from going to be spending time with them. He should go to the courtyards of Hashem and befriend the religious ones, befriend the chachamim. And what if you're in a situation where you have friends already, or you are people around you who are putting you down, who are not encouraging you to do the mitzvot, they are telling you, come on, do the sin, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's okay, I'll take the sin for you, come, don't worry, I'll burn for you. Come, and he tells you all these things. What should you respond to them? He says, you should tell them no. Be bold like a leopard. First Salachan Shulchan Aruch, he says, the Ramah over there, be bold like a leopard. A leopard will fight any animal, even bigger, even an elephant will fight. It will go and yell at, to go and stand up. And he says, imagine your friend told you, sit, okay, don't be in a rush, don't go. He says, what are you talking about? I have to go to work. I have a big business, $1 million on the line. No, sit with us, drink with us, eat with us. Come on, davai. No, I gotta go and make money. Same thing a person has to think for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I have to go to mitzvot. How can I go and sit here? How can I go and put Hashem's the word down? And therefore a person has to stand up for the word of Hashem. And when they see you make a Kiddush Hashem, hopefully you will make them do teshuvah as well.